This is Irontrader. It is Sunday night. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only. I'll recommendation buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, first on the docket here we have the old Bitcoin. Now, I went long here to BITX here on Friday it was, for the simple reason is we held this 8-day. Now you can see how the 8-day crossed over that 21-day, and then now it's curling up here very nicely. But even though we popped up higher through that 21-day, Friday is the day that we actually closed above it, which is also very good. But you notice that here, look how many days that, did we go below that 8-day? We sure did. However, we closed above that, and then Friday we had this nice green candle, and today we have a little bit higher high-less situation. Okay, so today's high so far was 92.50. Now, the market's been open, about 2 minutes? Okay, so your next level here that we're going to be looking at is going to be right up here. It's going to be that 93.70 level. We'll come up top of this candle, 93.850, and then we'll come up top of there at 94.950 level, and right there at 95.41. Okay, so you're sitting right there, 94.950 and 95.41. That's going to be very, very strong resistance because we not only have the retest of the top of that candle, but we also have that 50-day. Now, this can blow through that, okay? Then we have some really, really nice targets. What we're looking for is the top of this candle right here. Looking at 96.145. We'll come right to the bottom of that candle, 97.905. And then right here is 99.250 level. We'll come up top of that candle at that 94.230. We'll come up to the bottom there, 101.20. We come down there, 102.610. And then we'll be looking for that 103.957. That's going to be your big target. If we can close the back above this 50-day and that price channel, that'll be your big target. We get above that, then we had the 100-day at 104.880. Now we're sitting here, RSI. Hell, that's only sitting at 52. Plenty of room to run. The green is over red, shows that it's good momentum. And this 8-day is now starting to curl out. Now, again, if we can crack above that 21-day, that would become very, very good support, just like it's been down here with the 8-day. Now, on the downside, what we're watching, okay, we're going to be watching the top of this candle here. You're looking at 96.10 level. We'll come to the top of that candle at 91.15. And then we'll be looking for that 21-day at 89.265. Your next level of support is 88.743. Now, if say we this crashes all the way down, then we're going to be looking at 87.470 level. We'll come down here at 87.125. Come to the bottom of that candle there, 86.380. And then we have 85.135. And then we have that 84.505 level. Then we can come down here, test that 84.120, and then there's the big boy at 87.50. But right now, this looks like this is a nice, good, bullish run up here, at least to that price channel and that 50-day. If it gets up in the area, then we have to see exactly what the reaction is. Does it blast through and start heading for that 200-day, or does it hit that and go sideways action or come down? So let's just be very, very cautious. But right now, I'm long to BITX. It's one of my favorite trades there for on the long side. Now, here we have the weekly. Now, you can see here the uptrend is still very, very much intact because we're holding that 100-day very, very nicely. And now look and see we're back above that 8-day. Now we need to get that 8-day to curl up just like it did here. Okay, so we need a nice, good, strong day that would curl it up, and then we can have a nice, good targets up here at that 101 and up there at that 102 level. Now we look at the RSI here. This is plenty of room to run here. The green is still below your red. However, look at these little bars, okay? See how nice they're starting to move on up here nicely? So again, very, 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 very bullish here on the Bitcoin here in the short-term situation, okay? Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here we have Ethereum, your daily and your weekly chart. Now, you can see here we're hanging right around that 200-day, okay? So that's going to be resistance, 31.65. We get above that. Right here's your target at 32.21. Okay, now we get above that 50-day. Here's your next resistor level, 32.75. We'll come up here at 33.61. We have 34.09, and then we're looking for this retest, 34.61, which is basically at the top of that candle, okay? Now, here on the downside, well, we can look at the top of that candle right there at that 34.74. Then we'll be looking here at 30.46. That was your 21-day. Then we have your 8-day at 30.13. Now, we lose that. We'll come to the bottom there, 29.28. We'll come down here. You're looking at 28.86 level. Come down there, 28.10. and then we can 27.80 level. Then we just bring this price channel right across. You're looking at 27.28, and then your big retest down there at 26.27. But this is just like Bitcoin, looking very, very bullish here to the upside. And now we're hanging right around that 200. The key is going to be getting a back above that 50-day. That's going to be very, very key. Get above that 50 days so we can maybe have a target up there at that 34.61 level. Now, we're only sitting at 54. That's plenty of room to run. The green is over your red, shows good momentum to the upside. And this looks very, very similar to that Bitcoin. Now, again, when you look at this thing, we have a nice big W pattern, okay? See where it comes down, up, and down. We get above this 34.61. If you can get above that, you will fly right to that 100-day. The key is you got to get above that neckline, and that's the neckline right there of that W pattern. Now, we look here on the weekly chart. You can see here we're right above all this cluster, okay? So right there, your support level is going to be that 31.07. There's your 100-day. Then we have your 50-day, 357. And then we have your 8-day at 30.23 level, okay? So right now, the price is all above that. What you need to do is this, if we can have a nice good rally up, it'll be that 8-day will swing on up here. And then once we get above, then we have a nice good rally up here, at least maybe to that 37.03 level. Okay, right here, not overbought, oversold. The green is still below your red, but look at the little bar, just like on Bitcoin. Looking here, very, very good. The key is you got to get back above that 200-day, hold that, and the key is going to be that 50-day, and then we have to see what the reaction is. If you get above that 34.61 on this W pattern that is forming. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Okay, now you can see here how we had just a massive good run right on up here. But now you can see where the 8-day is going to be very, very strong. Okay, so we popped up here, couldn't get through it, popped up again, couldn't get through it, and now we're just hanging out. So realistically, on the downside, watch 43.51. That's going to be key. Watch Friday's low, 43.19. The bottom there, 42.84, and then that 50-day at 42.01. We lose that, you can come right to the bottom of that candle. Looking at 40.36 level, we'll come down here at 39.97, and then we have your 39.35, and then you have a big retest down here at 39.01, but we have your 100-day sitting right above that. Okay, so again, if we lose that 21-day, 50-day is going to be your target. We lose that 50-day, then we have the 100-day. We lose that, we have your 200 SMA here. Now, upside right there, okay? That 8-day is going to be everything. You got to get back and close above that 8-day, which is sitting at that 44.15 level. Okay, so if you do, then we have a nice good target up there at 44.84. We come up there at 45.30. We venture up there 45.55, and then 45.84. That's your big retest. Now, I have no position in gold right now until we close back above that 8-day. If we close it back above the 8-day, then I'll jump into GLD and I'll take it up back higher. But right now, it's almost like a bear flag that is forming here. So let's just be a little patient with this. The key is you're trading between this range of that 21-day on the downside and that 8-day there up on the old upside. Okay. Now, here we have your 54-hour side. Now, this is not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red. You can see where momentum is to the downside because we had this big red candle. Now, always look to the past. See how we had this big red candle there? See what we had here? Same kind of a scenario. So if we start losing and it starts cracking below that 21-day, you're going to head right towards that 50-day very, very easily. Okay? Now, silver, pretty much the same thing. I don't have no position here. I'll be looking here for this 8-day at that 73.34. Now you can see Friday we popped above it, but we closed back below. So right here is key, 73.34. That's what we have to get back above. Now again, if we can, then we'll look top of that candle at 74.21. We'll come up here at that 76.27. 78.06, and then we come up here 79.70, and then your retest up there at 82.67. But watch that 8-day. You got to close above it. You can't be like Friday with the pop and drop situation. That's not going to work. Now, on the downside, watch Friday's low. You're looking at 70.51. We'll come down here at that 69.25, and then we're looking for the 21-day at 67.01. We lose that here. Yeah, we have support here. Just bring these levels right across. But realistically, you're probably heading right towards that 50-day, maybe even that 100-day, and maybe even that 200 SMA. Now, you can see here we got really over a bought condition. Came right on down. Now we're kind of holding that level. But the green looks like it wants to cross below that red. But just be a little bit careful here because we had right now, this is like a bear flag situation. If we get above that 8-day and close above that 8-day and above Friday's high, well, then that would negate that. But right now, just be a little bit cautious on the old silver trade. Okay, time to take a look here at the old crude oil. All right, here we have the crude oil. Now, T-Man made a big with the U.S. military. We got that Maduro guy from Venezuela, so we got to see how that's all going to shake out here. Now, again, today we had the meeting of the OPEC meeting. Now, what they came out there, they said they're going to keep oil, the output just steady. Okay, they're not going to make any cuts. Okay, and they're not going to do any adding. For January, February, and March. Okay, so that's 3 months. They're just going to leave it alone and see how it all going to shake out here. Okay, so that's the thing you have to look at. Now, again, with Venezuela, remember they have one of the hugest supplies of crude oil, and why they didn't use it is beyond me. Okay, where you could be pumping, they have a lot more than even like Saudi Arabia has. Okay, so they have the reserves. It's just ungodly amount of reserves. So, but their theory was, if I start pumping more oil, it's going to bring the price down, kind of a situation, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you could have really expanded that. Instead of selling drugs, you could really make good profit there just selling the oil very easily, okay? But anyway, they didn't do that. So anyway, we got their guy, and he's in custody. He's in New York. So we got to see how this all gonna shake out, kind of a situation, okay? So right now you can see where oil is not really affecting it, and OPEC is going to leave everything the same for January, February, March. So just always remember that they're not going to cut, they're not going to add, they're just going to leave the same. Now, the next meeting is going to be February 1st. We'll see if they confirm everything. But right now, it's going to be like steady Eddie. Okay, let's take a look at the old charts here. Now, you can see here, really strong is that right here is the 8-day at 57.67. Right above that is 57.7. You got to get above that, and then we can hit that 50 SMA at 58.89. But right now, this is a whole downtrend situation, and you can see right here that 50-day how strong it is. Okay, so don't have an opinion. Okay, this is very strong. Now, we had a relief rally. However, look at a seasonality chart. That's all you have to do. Okay, seasonality chart. Okay, every year. I've been doing this for 2.5 decades. Okay, maybe even a little bit more. Okay, a long time. And every year, it's the same story. Okay, you buy it the first to second week of December, and you hold to the first couple of days of January, and it's over. Okay, then it takes a dip down, and then it goes sideways till February. Then you have a rise up going into that summer driving kind of situation. Okay, so right now here, we have to get, if it changes, you got to get above that 8-day, that 21-day, but the key is going to be that 50-day. If you can, then we come right to that 100-day at 60.56, and we come right to that 62.73. But right now, not looking too good. Okay, so today's low, we had ourselves at that 56 level, okay? So what you're looking at here in the bottom here, looking at the 56.60, you're hanging in this support level right here, okay? Very nice. Now, the next level of support is going to be right down here at that 55.61, and then we're going to come right here to the left of the chart here. You're looking at that 55.12 level, and then you can hit this 54.98. Now, we close below that 54.98. You're going to go 53, 50, 47, and you can come all the way down to 43 very easily. Okay, now you look at RSI, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is over red sideways here, kind of a situation here. So again, let's just see how this all shakes out, and let's see how this whole Maduro thing shakes out here over time. And, with the acting president of Venezuela, let's just see how this all shakes out. If it turns into a war, it turns into, I think, whatever it turns into. Remember, just trade the charts. Upside, 21-day. The key is that 50 SMA here. Downside, watch that 54.98. We lose that, it's going to be down gold Fraser time. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old Natgas. Okay, here we have natural gas. Now you can see here, she's just going right on down here, okay? Just like absolute nothing, okay? So what we had here is we had that nice good, if you look at a seasonality chart, we always have that nice good run up here right into that December time frame, and then she just comes off. Tried to make a rally here, couldn't get through a 21-day, and then she's coming off hard. Now, today we made this low here of 3.40. So this is what I was looking for right here, this gap fill at 3.43. So I've been pointing this out here now for how many days, how many weeks, this gap in the fill. I always point this out, okay? So now we've got into this gap here. That's it, is at 375. Right here is the fill at 3.43. Now you can see here, we're kind of hanging below that. Now again, if we lose that area, you're going to come right down here, 329. We'll come down here to this 323 level. We got 320 level, but then I want to show you another gap and another fill right down here. Look at the bottom of that candle, 3.13. There's your gap, and then look to the top of that candle, 302. Gap, fill. Those are your next two big targets right there if this keeps right on falling right on down. Now you look at the RSI. This is not oversold yet. This is go down. The green is below your red. This is a short ski. I mean, there's just no question about it. Okay, now on the upside here, you got to get back above this 200 SMA here. Okay, that's just that simple. 356. If you can, then we hit the 100-day at 366 level. Then we come to the bottom of that candle at 378. We'll come down here at 384, and then we're looking for that 397 level, the 422 level, and then we look at the 50-day at 427. Now you can see how that 21-day crossed over that 50-day. Not good. 8-day rolling down. This just looks like it's going to be lower. So remember, we are not in, even though it's cold out, it's blowing out, it's snowing out. Over here, the ski resorts are just loving it. They got so much snow, they didn't even have to make snow. They got so much snow. Okay, so that's awesome for that. However, we're in the future contracts here now. Okay, so just remember, this was the contract roll right here. See this? Just like we had a contract roll there and it zoomed up, this is the contract roll here to the downside. Remember, natural gas, they don't call this the widowmaker for nothing. Okay, so right now I have no position. I'm going to be watching to see if you can hold this key level right here, right there at that 343. If you can't, then I'm going to be looking for a nice short all the way down to there, to that 313, and possibly that fill at 302. Easy way to short this, KOLD for the short. On the long side, UNG for the long side, or Boyle. But right now, I think the short is what we're going to be looking for. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Remember, got a full week here, 5 days here. The holiday season's over, getting drunk and all this kind of stuff, hitting the bars in the new year. That's done now. So now we got time to go back to work here. Okay, so just remember that 5 full days. We got the API report there on Tuesday for crude oil, the EI report on Wednesday. Thursday, the EI report on natural gas, and then we have the rig count, and a lot of information coming out here. So right now, let's just see how it all shakes out. Right now, the futures are up about 50. On the NASDAQ, Bitcoin is up about 1670. So let's just see how this all shakes out here going into this week. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.